It is time for another Big Easy Meal sponsored by Supreme Rice. Today, Chef Kevin Belton's recipe has a kick to it. He is joining us now in the kitchen. Ooh, Chef, I am ready. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm excited for another Big Easy Meal. What kind of rice are we using today?
Today we're going to use a medium grain rice.
Okay.
And you know, a medium grain, you know, we grow rice in Louisiana. We have the long grain, we have a medium grain, we grow the brown rice, long grain, and then they have the jasmine. Mm-hmm. But medium grain, as you look at it uncooked, it's a really short grain.
Yes.
And usually the shorter the grain, the starchier the rice.
Okay.
So even once it's cooked, it's a little bit sticky. Now, the reason I did this recipe is the fact that, you know, you think about Louisiana cuisine and we always eat so much rice.
Yes.
But our rice growers in Louisiana, all these families that grow rice in Louisiana, it's shipped all over the world.
Wow.
So we feed the world. So that's why I'm doing this like an Asian-inspired flavor, because our rice works with whatever cuisine there is.
I cannot wait to
Does that
try
kind of make
it.
sense?
Let's start with the sauce here.
So, yeah, and basically the sauce, I have mayonnaise and sriracha, okay?
This is your take on a bang bang sauce.
On a bang bang sauce, okay? Now, real simple. A little rice wine vinegar.
Ooh.
All right? Along with, I drew a blank.
It's all right. That's all right. It look good.
Wait, a little rice wine vinegar, and we're gonna do a little sugar.
Okay, come on, sweetness.
Because that little sweetness in there.
And then you got the spiciness from the
how
sriracha.
much? Yeah, and how spicy do you want it? How much sriracha do you add to it? Now, what's interesting about this dish? It's a warm dish, but it has cold complements with it. Okay. So for the shrimp, I season the shrimp with our Creole seasoning.
It looks well seasoned
but
too.
I patted them dry. I seasoned them with the seasoning, and then I dusted them in cornstarch.
Why?
Now, a lot of times when we cook in Louisiana, we always use flour. We always use fish fry, things like that. Cornstarch fries crispy. That's why a lot of times it's really crispy. That's why we use the cornstarch on the recipe. You know, it's just you make sure you dry your shrimp off on a paper towel, season them up really good, and then dredge them in cornstarch.
And then we cook them, or you dredge them in cornstarch after we cook them?
And then I just had a little bit of oil, dredge them in cornstarch before.
Okay.
Season them, dredge them in the cornstarch, just like you would in fish fry.
Yeah.
And then pan fry them. Now I just had a little bit of oil in the pan. I mean, just a little bit. So I had to flip them over.
Yes.
But you can deep fry them, but it gives just a different little texture to it. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Come on, seasoning.
So here's how we're gonna build this, okay? So here we have some shredded cabbage. I have a little red cabbage, green cabbage, with a little carrot mixed in.
Yummy.
We're gonna throw in some tomatoes on there, okay?
Come on with the vegetables. Make me feel good.
A little bit of green onion. All right?
And you could do really whatever you want, right?
You could do whatever you like. But look, let's throw a few shrimp right on top.
At least 7.
There we go, at least 7.
At least 7.
All right. And then all we're gonna do is take our bang bang sauce. And you know, everybody's different about sauce. Do you want a lot of sauce or a little sauce?
I like a lot. A lot of shrimp. A lot of sauce.
A lot of sauce.
All of it. Because you know it's going to soak into the vegetables and the rice.
And
you know, we got a lot of ground to cover.
And that rice down on the bottom. Look, you have a fork right there.
I love it.
That's what's great about this rice, because the rice, you know, a lot of Louisiana dishes have sauces, and the rice can absorb that, okay? And using the medium grain rice, it has that extra starch, so it's a little stickier. But that's one of the great things that we have down here is our rice. Our rice can't be touched by anybody else.
Okay, and you know, I love your biggest tip when it comes to cooking rice. You can cook it in water if you want, but if you want a little bit more flavor.
I did this in a little bit of chicken stock. That's why on the counter here, the raw rice is white and the cooked rice has just a little hint of color to it, because I did use a little bit of chicken stock. But you don't have to, but you can. You know?
It's off the chain. My goodness, this mayo.
You know, and I tell you what, everybody's not a mayonnaise fan.
I am.
If you're not a mayonnaise fan, gang, swap out the mayonnaise with a little sour cream. Use the sriracha with the sour cream, and it'll give that same creamy texture. Does that make sense? With the rice wine vinegar and the sugar, that little sweetness to it.
I promise I'm listening. It's just so
I
good.
know, no,
y'all.
I understand.
It is
I understand.
so good. My goodness.
But that's why, you know, when you look at Louisiana dishes and Louisiana cooking, but you also look at countries and communities and nationalities that eat a lot of rice. Usually it's because of that sauce, because that rice can really get there and absorb all of that sauce.
I ate it all, everybody. Look, if y'all can see my bowl, it's almost gone. It's so good. Chef Kevin, a pleasure as always.
Always a pleasure. It's a
great, big,
supreme
easy
day
meal.
being with you.
Yes, it is. Stop. It's a supreme day with you. And look, if you all want this recipe or more great recipes, head over to supremerice.com and, of course, follow them on social media as well. Now,